Good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I hope you've been having a blessed day with your family. I know it's a rainy day. You may be able to hear the thunder in the background. I heard a little bit of thunder just a second ago. No doubt you can probably hear the rain beating on the windows. But I hope you also remember the words of the psalmist. This is the day that the Lord has made. So this too is a day that the Lord has made, and it is what we make out of it. So hopefully you've been making something out of this day with your family. I hope that you remember to send in some pictures to me from your worship this morning, or from you and your family preparing to worship. We'd like to be able to put some of those on our Facebook page, people who are worshiping with us virtually this morning at the Rivergate Church of Christ. So I'd love to be able to share those. We've got some excellent ones on there already. So that's some good stuff that we've got going on, and I want to continue to remind you to share these videos if you think they're helpful. Share them with your friends. Make the best out of the situation that we're in. I think that's always a good idea and a good policy for us to try to make the best of whatever situation that we're in. Try to find the rainbow and do something good with what we've been given. Now, as far as the devotional goes for today, I know that Jesus is on everyone's mind today. There's probably only maybe one other day in the year that more people are thinking about Jesus. Perhaps that's Christmas. But we know that today is Easter Sunday, and people that hardly ever think about Jesus any other time, they're thinking about Jesus today. People are talking about Jesus. They're talking about what He's done for us. They're talking about His resurrection. If you caught the sermon this morning, you noticed that I talked about why Jesus had to die, and one of the key things was in regards to His resurrection and how God was able to show His power. It's on people's mind. We're talking about how much we love Jesus. I saw an interesting article a while back, or I think it was a Facebook page. The man's name was Richard Brandt that had shared this, and it's a little bit adapted, but I'm going to read you some of the things that he said about doing things for people that we love. Here's how we do things for people that we love, and let's see what you think about this. The way I let people know that I really love them is to be as selfish as I can. I do everything that I want to do, when I want to do it, the way that I want to do it. Even when the one I love has explained to me that when you never do anything that I ask you to do, it is difficult to believe you really love me. So I do my best to explain by doing the things I think are important. I do them when I think they should be done. I do them how I think they should be done. They should know that I love them. Now, I'm sure that when you hear these things, you may think that's completely contrary to showing someone that we love them. But if we search deep in our souls and we think about how it is that today we're saying we love Jesus more than any other day, but then we ask ourselves the question, how do we interact with Jesus? Have we been interacting with Him the ways that were laid out? The way I let people know that I really love them is to be as selfish as I can. Are we selfish sometimes? Are we selfish many times? Are we selfish most of the time with our time, with our resources, with our finances? God doesn't want the leftovers. He wants the best that we've got. He doesn't want the last 2 minutes before we go to bed to look into His Word halfway falling asleep. He wants us to study His Word. He doesn't want us to give Him a portion of our life. He wants us to give heart, soul, and mind. He's always wanted the best offerings, and today He wants us to give Him our heart. I do everything that I want to do, when I want to do it, the way I want to do it. God has told us the way that He wants things done, and many times throughout the Old Testament we saw God punish people because they failed to do things the way that God wanted. Now, I know that we are allowed to make mistakes today because Christ has died and we have grace and all those things. And we're so thankful for that. But if we love God, we should want to do things the way that He asked. So how do we show someone that we love them? Well, the Bible tells us specifically there's quite a few things that Jesus had to say about this in John chapter 14. In verse 15, He said, "If you love me, keep my commandments." In verse 21, He said, "He who has my commandments and keeps them, it is he who loves me. And he who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and manifest myself to him." In verse 23 of John 14, He says, If anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. In verse 24, he says, he who does not love me does not keep my words, and the word which you hear is not mine, but the Father's who sent me. If we love someone, we want to make them happy, don't we? If we love someone, we're going to be willing to put them first. If we love someone, we're going to be willing to do the things they want us to do. If we love someone, we'll do things for them that we don't want to do. If we love someone, we will do things the way they want it done in their time. Friends, you say that you love Jesus. We say that we love Jesus. But are we showing it in the way that we live our lives? I pray that you are thinking about Jesus today. I would take any opportunity that I could to get more people thinking about Jesus. The thing that we need to make sure that we do is take it past today. We need to make sure that it's not just 2 days a year that we're trying to do what God wants us to do, but we're trying to do it all the time in our lives. So I pray that we will take this beyond today, that we'll take it into our week coming up, that we'll live our lives the way that we ought to, recognizing what's been done for us and the love that God has shown for us. Thank you once again for tuning in. Pray that you have a blessed evening and a blessed week.